Is trading an art? Let's dig into the subject. Another Back to Basics series. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is a little back to basics on trading is an art, not a science. Nick Schmidt put this together on Twitter. If you want, you can follow him. I personally don't. I just found this and thought this was rather interesting. Again, most of you know I don't follow anyone. I trade by myself. I am a lone wolf. I ultimately do my own homework. I make sure I know that I know what I'm doing. Everything is based on logic, not emotion. But this is where I try to explain this to people that in trading, architects, engineers, very logical, structured people struggle with trading. And because there's an art part of this, there's uncertainties and there's parts of trading that you cannot put into a formula or put into any one certain factor. Because again, the market is affected by news, variables that you cannot control, we can't control, cannot predict. These kind of things always happen. That is the problem. So once you define a system that you think is without failure, the market will probably figure out, or something will happen in the market that will lead to a failure. It's rather amazing. I've tried this myself, trust me. There is no perfect system. Most of you guys know I follow volume price analysis, and I stick a lot to price action based on swing points and references and candle formations and Fibonacci's and moving averages. Not a ton of stuff compared to some traders who have literally a billion things on their charts. But this is the art part. Like, how do you know to sell sometimes? How do you know to buy sometimes? Like, how do you know to get in out? Well, here's the art. Let's go through 5 reasons real quick. Hopefully make this simple. Trading requires creativity. The most successful traders, like the best arts, are willing to be different. Well, think about it. Different is what makes money in the market, right? They combine creativity with consistency, and they just deconstruct and analyze human behavior. Above all, they think for themselves. If you're following me, you're in the Discord room, you always know we are thinking for ourselves. We look at sentiment, right, as an indicator of what the market maker is looking to do. Ultimately, blow people out, get them to lose, have ultimately a 90% failure rate for traders. I mean, it's literally that's a fact. So, again, being able to analyze your human behavior of your own and also know what the market maker is trying to do. Again, if they're trying to take people's money, you have to be aware the market is ultimately setting up traps constantly. And we're also being different. Again, we don't ever run with the herd. As soon as the herd feels like it's surrounding us, we're thinking we're not comfortable. It's like being at a party too long. You just know that everyone's drinking and the hangover's coming, and it's just time to leave. And again, it's great to have sometimes a sentiment change in your favor. Just like, for example, the SMH trade. Like, we knew, buy the rumor, sell the news. We knew as the SMH was rising, more people were getting excited about it. But ultimately, you had to know there was an exit point. Hope that makes sense. 2, trading is expressive. Your entire life will creep into your trading performance. If you're angry, frustrated, or anxious, your performance will suffer. When you're enthusiastic, relaxed, and calm, your performance will have a chance. Ultimately, you have to be in tune with both the markets and yourself. Well, what do I always say? Do what the market is doing and do what the market is doing. Point being, angry, frustrated, anxious, whatever. All these emotions you have, and again, I even say this, enthusiastic, again, I'm always trying to be tempered. I'm always trying to be evidence-based on probabilities. Now, again, remember the difference. There's no certainty here, but we're always trying to be evidence-based and go with the probabilities. For example, tried to take a short in the market before the FOMC today because based on logic in the past, it should be. Well, it ran up higher and it got stopped out. Maybe it drops later, but that doesn't matter ultimately. The stops are the most important, right? But what do you think about it? Like, if I got angry, frustrated, anxious, or enthusiastic about something and went large before an uncertain event like the FOMC, which we told you, like, please, if you're trading beforehand, either you're taking profits or you're layering, you're trading very small. You're not being aggressive because what? Before an unknown, right? So this is where sometimes just it's almost like and this is sometimes what people try to say is that you should be a robot in trading. Well, yes and no, but a robot to your plan, robot to your stops, robot to your disciplines, your exit strategies, your stops, your admittance to yourself that you're wrong. Like, those are the things you have to be a robot about. So Trading requires intuition and gut feeling. The best traders are able to interpret the market using their intuition and experience. Listening to your intuition doesn't mean you disregard logic and rules. You always work within a framework. It means that the proper focus, education, and time, your gut feelings will become incredibly accurate. I mean, he should have said this first. That's ultimately, like, again, people say sometimes you have this Livermore sense, you have this gut feeling. Well, again, remember, the subconscious is interpreting all this data. For it to get to a conscious level, it's usually a little later. It'll hit your gut first. So that's where, again, requires intuition and gut feeling. But again, I like to take that out of it sometimes because I want to be evidence-based. I want to be probability-based, right? Because sometimes your intuition and gut feeling gets you excited as something's rising as it should be sold, or dropping and you should be buying and you're scared. Like, that's, again, this is rule, and this is where the art is. Like, we talked about, say, Newmont a few days ago after their earnings on Monday, was it the 25th? The stock was absolutely smashed. And we're like, take a look at it. Watch the action. It probably should hold somewhere in the mid to low 40s. And it's clearly doing that. But keep in mind, like, think about intuition and gut feeling. Like, the gut feeling that I think most people get from watching that chart is, look out below. This thing is going to get absolutely smoked, which it already had. Trading requires a deep passion. No one can be a great trader without having a real passion for it. Passion will drive you to continue learning, improving, and adapting things to get there. Without it, the market can be a very frustrating and enjoyable experience. Deep passion, yes. Again, it's like anything. If you want to be great at basketball, you want to be great at chess, you want to be a great dad, you want to be a great... Well, yes, you have a passion for it. But I think one of the things I think people mistakenly don't kind of understand is that passion is important, but drive and executing and doing this stuff is great. Like, I have a passion for trading, but it doesn't make me great at it. Like, I practice, and practice. I've made every mistake 1,000 times. I've tried to learn from it. And again, that passion comes from what? The drive to win. I don't think I just have naturally a passion. Like, I know, like, freedom, unlimited potential comes from being a excellent trader. Because then you get what I would call, and maybe most of you guys, fuck you money. You don't have to work for anyone. The market is your literally ATM. That's the goal. So again, passions and love and desire, that's not good enough. Study, educate, know that you know. And I tell that to people all the time, and they're like, I don't really understand what you're saying. Know that you know. It's like back test, study, be prepared. Like, if you're going into the Fed meeting, what typically happens? What should happen next? What happens afterwards? If you don't know these things, then you shouldn't be trading around the Fed meetings. Like, you should absolutely none. And again, hopefully this video, people who are in the Discord room and watch the daily recaps are well prepared. But the average person should not be trading this. I mean, again, what do we always say? The first in a trap, the first mouse gets the trap, the second mouse gets the cheese. Well, you should trade the reaction, not the anticipation of it. Trading is not black and white. There's no secret formula. Most traders waste years looking for answers that don't exist. Agree, RSI, MACD, hint, hint. What works for one person will not work for another. Maybe. The beautiful thing about trading is there's no right way to do it. Maybe. Like any good artist, you have to find your own voice and learn to trust it. If trading were science, it'd be much easier to replicate success from one person to another. Trading is art, and the greatest traders are artists. I agree with the concept here, but there are certain things that I think people have to always be 1,000% aware of. What works for one person, what doesn't, fine. How you execute your trades, sure, I can argue that. But every winning trader, there is one trait that every one of them has, and it is absolute great risk management and able to cut losers. So when you say, well, you can't violate that, because there are going to be times, and this is personally for me the hardest part of trading, is I'm usually right 8, 9 out of 10 times. It's the one time I'm wrong that could absolutely wipe out my day, month, week, quarter, whatever. So when you say one thing doesn't work for another, no, that to me is absolutely wrong, because there is one right way. Risk management, knowing how to cut losers quick, being very aware that you can be wrong. Because again, I've said this 1,000 times, and I actually know people like this. They're not good traders, but they lose small. They win 50% of the time, 40% of the time. They only trade when they can see things, but they get stopped out immediately and they lose, and they're like, well, I'll look for an entry next week, next month, whatever. That allows them to survive. Because again, in trading, like the goal is to always be losing as small as possible and maximizing your wins. Like everybody knows that, and that's obvious, right? But can they execute it? That's really the hardest part of this. And I say this all the time to folks is that, hey, you can trade differently. Like I agree, like there's no one right way to do it, but you have to be a master of discipline. If you are trading options, you have to be getting out early every time. That last dollar, that last day or two that you're waiting for sometimes to make money on the options is an absolute killer. It will destroy your trade potentially. People who, again, who want to hold forever and want to assume certain things. These are the things that, again, that's not a disciplined risk management trade setup, knowing your plan. Like you have to have the plan. Now, again, like is there one right way, one wrong way? I mean, again, that's all subject to interpretation, but there's no argument about discipline. So hope this stuff helps. Trying to bring a little bit of, real life information to these just words. Because when I read this, I mean, I think people would go, oh, this is inspiring. But again, like the words without really any application of the understanding of why they matter is to me why I like to talk about this stuff. Because again, I read this stuff and I'm like, man, someone's probably getting really inspired by it. But it's like, what does it really mean? How do you interpret it? What does it mean in real life examples? So hope this stuff helps. And I will see you guys and gals in the chat room. Remember, link for the Discord room is in the description below. If you've gotten this far and you like this stuff, trust me, there is a plethora of knowledge that you can find on the Discord room, on the side rooms. And again, trading is a buy yourself thing, but I always tell people, it's really, really, really cheap to learn from others' mistakes. If you want to learn on your own mistakes, I don't know what your tuition bill is going to be. Hopefully it's not that high. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.